In a moment stitched together by history, tradition, and profound sorrow, the world turned its eyes to Vatican City. Peter's Square, usually bustling with tourists and pilgrims, was draped in a solemn hush on this fateful Saturday. This was no ordinary day. It was a day when monarchs and dignitaries from across continents came together not for coronations, not for galas, but to say goodbye to a spiritual giant, Pope Francis. As the golden sun rose over the ancient colonnades of St. Peter's Basilica, the Vatican's heart beat with a different kind of rhythm. A beat of mourning, a beat of unity, a beat that echoed around the world. Carriage by carriage, motorcade by motorcade, they arrived. Royal families from Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and Asia, representing centuries-old traditions, modern constitutional monarchies, and religious communities alike, stepped onto the stones of St. Peter's Square. The first to arrive was King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia of Spain, impeccably dressed in mourning black. Their faces were solemn, yet dignified, reflecting not just their personal grief but the respect of an entire nation. Queen Margrethe II of Denmark, despite her own recent abdication, made the journey, her frail frame wrapped in an elegant, understated coat, her bearing no less regal. King Willem-Alexander and Queen Maxima of the Netherlands followed, each bowing deeply in respect to the late Pope's memory. Queen Maxima, known for her vibrant personality, today looked a world away from her usual brilliance, her face clouded by sorrow yet illuminated by reverence. From the United Kingdom, Prince William and Princess Catherine represented the British royal family. Their presence was a symbol of renewed royal diplomacy and a recognition of the Pope's efforts to bridge religious and political divides across his historic papacy. It was not only Europe's crowned heads who attended. From Jordan, King Abdullah II and Queen Rania brought the solemn prayers of the Islamic world, a moving symbol of interfaith unity in mourning. The square, capable of holding over 300,000, was filled not with cheering crowds, but with silence, punctuated only by the mournful hymns echoing from the Vatican choir. Pope Francis' casket, simple and elegant, was carried forward by Swiss guards, a reminder of the humility that defined his papacy. Cardinal Giovanni Battista Re, the Dean of the College of Cardinals, presided over the funeral mass, in a service meticulously crafted to reflect the wishes of Pope Francis: simplicity, prayerfulness, and openness to all. Unlike the pomp and grandeur usually associated with papal funerals, today's service was marked by what Pope Francis treasured most: humility and love. The Gospel was read in several languages: Latin, Italian, Spanish, and even Swahili, a testament to Pope Francis' lifelong mission to include all the world's faithful. Perhaps the most touching moment came when Queen Mary of Denmark was seen wiping away tears during the homily. Cameras caught Princess Charlene of Monaco, a devoted Catholic, visibly moved, clasping her rosary with trembling hands. Prince William was seen placing a white rose near the casket after the service, a simple but deeply symbolic act, recalling the British tradition of mourning and echoing his late mother Princess Diana's enduring message of compassion. The unity among the royal families was palpable. Titles were left at the gates. Inside St. Peter's Square, all were mere mortals, grieving together. Throughout his papacy, Pope Francis had become more than a religious leader. He was a symbol of humility, inclusiveness, and compassion. He reached across borders, political, social, and religious, championing the poor, calling for peace, and urging care for the planet. In his death, as in his life, Pope Francis brought together kings and queens, presidents and peasants, believers and skeptics alike. World leaders and royals alike paid tribute to his unparalleled moral leadership. King Philippe of Belgium remarked, "Pope Francis taught us that greatness lies in serving others, not ruling them." As they departed the Vatican, rare scenes unfolded. King Harald V of Norway exchanged a heartfelt embrace with King Felipe VI, a symbolic handshake between Protestant and Catholic monarchies. Princess Elizabeth of Belgium was seen in deep conversation with Crown Princess Victoria of Sweden, a quiet testament to the next generation of royalty embracing Pope Francis's ideals. The cameras captured Queen Matilda of Belgium kneeling quietly, long after the crowds had thinned, lost in private prayer. As the bells of St. Peter's Basilica tolled once more, the casket was lifted and carried into the basilica. Pope Francis' final journey through the grand portals he had crossed so many times in life. The Swiss guards presented arms one last time, and as the royal families watched with glistening eyes, a gentle rain began to fall as if heaven itself were weeping. And so, under the ancient vaults of St. Peter's, and the endless skies of Rome, the world said farewell to a shepherd of souls, a friend to the forgotten, a pope for the ages. It is said that in moments of profound grief, the world shrinks. Borders disappear, rivalries fade, and the sheer weight of loss binds humanity together. At the funeral of Pope Francis, this truth was on full display. Each royal house that made the pilgrimage to Vatican City did so not merely as a formality, but as an act of deep respect for a pontiff who transcended political, religious, and national lines. Let's take a closer look at some of the prominent royal figures who gathered. Spain's deep Catholic heritage made King Felipe VI's presence not only expected but profoundly symbolic. Dressed in a simple yet elegant black suit and tie, and Queen Letizia in a long black dress with a traditional Spanish mantilla covering her hair, the couple exuded quiet dignity. Spain, once the bastion of Catholic power during the Habsburg Empire, has always maintained a delicate yet intimate relationship with the Vatican. For King Felipe, who has sought to modernize the monarchy while honoring tradition, attending the funeral of Pope Francis, a pope known for blending ancient teachings with modern realities, was deeply personal. As their carriage rolled into the Vatican, it was as though centuries of Spanish kings and queens stood behind them, paying tribute to a man who had shepherded millions. Despite stepping down from the throne after over 5 decades of reign, Queen Margrethe II of Denmark was determined to be present. Known as Europe's Queen of Hearts for her artistic soul and deep Christian faith, Margrethe's frail yet commanding presence captured the world's attention. In a rare moment, as she knelt before the Pope's casket, the cameras zoomed in to catch the glisten of a single tear rolling down her cheek. She came not as a monarch, but as a pilgrim, one grieving a spiritual father she had deeply admired. Representing King Charles III, the Prince and Princess of Wales brought a sense of gravitas. Theirs was a presence that symbolized the Church of England's close but distinct relationship with Rome. Yet, in grief, doctrinal differences seemed to vanish. Prince William's bowed head, Catherine's tightly clasped hands, every gesture spoke of a profound respect that crossed centuries of division. Observers noted Catherine's discreet but symbolic jewelry choice, a simple pearl brooch, pearls traditionally symbolizing tears and mourning in royal customs. Netherlands. King Willem-Alexander and Queen Maxima. Known for their open warmth and accessibility, the Dutch king and queen chose to stand among the people after the service, exchanging quiet words with mourners. Queen Maxima, a Catholic herself, looked deeply affected, her characteristic luminous smile replaced by solemn reflection. Monaco. Prince Albert II and Princess Charlene. Catholicism runs deep in the bloodline of Monaco's princely family. For Prince Albert and Princess Charlene, attending the funeral was both a diplomatic duty and a personal farewell. Charlene's delicate touch of her rosary, her lips murmuring silent prayers, became one of the most enduring images of the day. Jordan. King Abdullah II and Queen Rania. Perhaps one of the most profound presences was that of King Abdullah II and Queen Rania of Jordan. Their appearance was a testament to Pope Francis's relentless efforts toward interfaith dialogue. Queen Rania, dressed in a flowing black abaya, stood in respectful silence, representing the Islamic world's condolences. It was a moment that spoke louder than words, a Muslim queen mourning a Christian pope, bound by a shared dream of peace. From the arrangement of chairs to the choice of hymns, every detail of the ceremony seemed saturated with meaning. The use of white roses, purity and remembrance. The Swiss Guard's slow, deliberate march, loyalty until death. The tolling of the great bells, a call heard across continents. St. Peter's Basilica itself, with its towering dome stretching heavenward, seemed almost to weep as gray clouds gathered overhead. It was as if Rome herself, the eternal city, paused to grieve. The funeral was broadcast live to over 140 countries. From the slums of Buenos Aires, Pope Francis' hometown, to the grand cathedrals of Europe, millions knelt, crossed themselves, or simply watched in tearful silence. On social media, an unprecedented 1.2 billion hashtags related to hashtag Pope Francis trended within hours. Messages of unity, hope, and gratitude poured in from Catholic faithful, from Protestant communities, from Muslim, Jewish, Hindu, and even secular leaders. Royals, more than most, live by traditions and expectations. Yet many of them had found in Pope Francis a leader who spoke a new kind of language, a language of the heart. His tireless advocacy for the poor echoed King Philippe's own work in Spain's inner cities. His environmental activism found an ally in King Willem Alexander, a champion of sustainability. His emphasis on forgiveness and healing resonated deeply with Princess Catherine, who has long supported mental health initiatives. Pope Francis was not a man who sought crowns. Yet today, the crowned heads of the world bowed before him, acknowledging that true greatness lies not in ruling, but in serving. Rare are the moments when history's great institutions, monarchy and papacy, align so seamlessly. Through centuries, monarchs and popes have shared alliances, rivalries, and spiritual bonds. From Charlemagne's crowning by Pope Leo III to Queen Elizabeth II's respectful dialogue with John Paul II, the relationship between throne and altar has been complex. But on this day, there were no politics. Only prayer. As the Swiss guards closed the grand doors of St. Peter's Basilica behind Pope Francis's casket, the bells tolled one last time. Outside, the royal families stood together, a mosaic of crowns, crests, and clasped hands looking upward into the rainy Roman sky. In that moment, time seemed to stand still. Kings and queens, princes and princesses, leaders and laity, all were simply children of God, mourning a shepherd who had led them with tenderness, humility, and unyielding hope. Friends, if this powerful story moved your heart, please subscribe, like, and comment below. Tell us, which royal tribute or emotional moment touched you most deeply today? Let's honor Pope Francis's legacy by spreading his message of unity and love around the world.